Hey everybody, Jim Powers with MaryvilleSaints.com and Saints Vision as we catch up with our coaches throughout the week, getting ready for the action this weekend. And joining us this week, stepping in for head coach David Corner on the men's soccer team, it's their assistant coach, Zuniga. And first off, David wanted you to do the interview this week because you have done such an incredible job on the scouting side of things. Really a big part of why our team is 6-2. 4-2 in conference. Just talk about what your role in getting scouts done and different things like that.
Yeah, so a lot of it's just really video watching, figuring out, player personnel on different teams and just kind of breaking down, how other teams, in a sense, kind of play their games. So, looking back at certain games, watching our own film, and then even to just watching other teams' film, we can kind of break down and just have a good idea of how we want to play against each team.
It's been very successful. When you look at us, we're one of our best starts in program history. Ranked again, the rankings just came out. We're still sitting number 5 in the region. And you know the UCA poll as well as anybody. This is a really good measuring stick for what we may see in a couple weeks when the NCAA comes out with their rankings.
Yeah, it definitely is. And it's cool to see, too, that, week by week, teams can move up, teams can move down. So, from our Friday, Sunday games, depending on whether we do well, whether we do poor, the rankings definitely do a good job of gauging that. So
let's talk about some of the guys, and really, me and David talk about the guys up front all the time, but really just very impressive. Yeah. Got some guys that scored this past Sunday against Quincy that we haven't seen, with JD getting his second, but then Eric Schaefer coming up with that header. And I said afterwards, if anybody's getting interviewed this week, it's going to be Eric, because that was great for him coming up from defensive back on that set piece.
Yeah, it is, and especially, too, just like you kind of said, from his position standpoint, he doesn't get a lot of looks going to goals. So for him to, get a set-piece goal, get a good header goal, especially at a difficult angle to try to beat the keeper, is definitely refreshing to see for him.
Talk a little bit about just set pieces. And I know when I do the broadcast, I stress the importance of those set pieces. But I don't think just the normal fan knows how important free kicks, corner kicks, and how you've got to kind of plan where you want your guys for each different situation.
Yeah, so it's going to vary from game to game, and even from a film standpoint and scout standpoint, you can kind of see certain tendencies that other teams have for positioning, and if they do any type of zone, stuff like that. But for us, we also look in ways that we can maybe exploit some of those some of those tendencies. So even from the set piece standpoint, definitely very important. Definitely a lot of opportunities to get goals, and fortunately enough, we got a goal this weekend. So it's great to see.
Well, scout for this week: Truman on Friday, and then William Jewell on Sunday. A different road trip for us, because normally when we play Truman, it's either Truman over to Quincy or it's William Jewell down the Rockhurst. So kind of a switch up for everybody. But talk a little bit about what you've seen on film with Truman and with William Jewell heading into really a big weekend where we can make up some more ground.
Yeah, so both teams are going to be very hardworking teams. Obviously, in the GLVC, it's definitely a difficult game, every single game. So from our standpoint, we definitely have to show up as a team. We did have a couple late starts the last couple games, but if we definitely show up as a team, we can definitely get good results.
Awesome stuff, Coach. Thanks so much for sitting in for David, and good luck this weekend.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
Be able to follow all the action this weekend. The soccer teams travel to Truman on Friday. They're afternoon games. The men will go at 1 o'clock, the women at 3:30, and then they'll head over to Kansas City. The women will kick off at noon on Sunday. The men will go at 2:30. You'll be able to follow all the action on the GLVC Sports Network, and you'll be able to follow us on Twitter at Maryville Saints. For Coach, I'm Jim Powers. Thanks so much for tuning in to MaryvilleSaints.com and Saints Vision. Have a great week, and as always, go Saints.